Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So the next few videos you're going to be seeing is me working on the M5, and that's purely because something that I didn't expect to fail has actually failed on the M5. After running diagnostics, I've actually found out what is actually causing this car to actually not run or not start and completely keep shutting off. Now you probably realized I changed the fuel pump on the car was running perfectly. Little did I know there was another issue that actually creeped up. After reading the live data, I have actually found the fault, and I didn't expect this fault to actually come at this time in the winter. And now I'm going to have to strip the M5 apart. So today's video is going to be removing the plenum intake on this car, and we're going to go over a load more videos because I'm in no rush to get this car back together until I've done everything underneath of the plenums. Now, there will be quite a few videos on this because of the fact I have a lot to do. And also, this is really one of the reasons why I haven't been doing any videos with the M5 and why it's been tucked in here due to it running like it does. Now, I do expect this. This is a very highly teched V10 engine by BMW, and a lot of people ain't aware of the way these engines run. They're very temperamental, and therefore these parts need to be changed. So let's get on to removing the plenums on this car and get this video going.
What? Goddamn, get it done, will ya? Woo! When the blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York, so you know.
So before we remove all the plenums, guys, we are going to go and release all the plastic housing. We then got to remove the strut brace to be able to get access to the plenums to take them off. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove all the plastics. So you're going to need your 30mm socket to remove all the plastics. You guys would have seen me do this numerous times. Now we've got all the plastics off, we're now going to target the strut brace around there because we need to remove this to be able to get the plenums out, because if you can see, the plenum will not lift off. We also won't be able to get in there to get the clamps off from the actual engine itself. If you can see here, it is a T45 we are going to be using to release all the bolts. Now we've done that, next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the boots for the intake system off the plenums so we can get access to all the plenum system underneath, because that's where all the clamps are. Now you are going to need flat-headed screwdrivers around this length to get into the plenums to remove all the clamps underneath. They're not easily accessible, they do sit all at different angles underneath to be able to remove the plenums. Now when I did re-put this back on, I did put them back in a way that I'd be able to remove them easily enough. So I therefore should be able to get access to them without the need of removing all certain bits and pieces in the way of them. What I am going to do is I'm going to release all these clamps here from the intakes. Now it really ain't easy to get a camera in here for you guys to be able to see, but if you was to come and do the job, you would see where all the clamps are. We are going to need to remove this hose right here, and we will need to take off also the two pipes when the plenum comes off, which is for the CCV, which is underneath the plenums as we take them off. That's the CCV pipe off. Now that's the first plenum side off, we're going to target the next one. Now I believe we're going to have to remove the coolant tank to gain access to that. You wouldn't believe I've only just done this because, you know, it's so easy to forget, but I only did this last year for the throttle actuators. But it's so easy to forget when you hardly work on a car that don't break. So it's not something you have to remove all the time on these cars, but it's so easy to forget. Now we've got that out of the way, we should be able to see all our screws. Now I just want to show you, if you can see the suction cups that go onto the cylinders, you can see here all the clamps are in their set position. Now they can't go any way other than that, because if you look at them clearly, you have got a stopper right there which stops them going any other way. So they're always in position for you. That way you can retighten them before you put the actual plenums back on. Now it is my best advice is when you take these off to reposition them correctly, so when you put them back on, everything is sitting flush and you don't get no issues. Now that's what I'm going to be doing before I put them back on, but this car is going to be stripped down for quite a while I sort out all the issues underneath the plenums, because when these are off, it's a time to do as much as possible underneath the intakes, because of this reason, because otherwise you'll have to do this again and it ain't an easy job. That's why once it's off, do everything under here and then pull it back on once you know the car is fully sorted. So I just want to show you guys, one of these PCV hoses right here is very badly clogged, as you can see there. And what I believe's happened is this one has blew off one of the intakes. This one was on the intake, but this one right here, which is the passenger side one, had actually blown off, probably from too much pressure. You can see how badly gunked up it is on the CCV of a lot of oil residue. So I believe this has actually blown off while I've been driving. That might be causing an issue with the high idle that I was still getting, and also the car now cutting out, since obviously I changed everything else. Now I know it ain't the fuel pump, tested the fuel pump, everything's running correctly, but this car has been having another serious issue, and I've got a lot of things to address down here, which we are going to be addressing. The next video you're going to be seeing me do is probably stripping down all this part to get down further down onto the belts, pulleys, and start dealing with all that. But once everything's done, it should be perfect and running absolutely tip top. You can see it's all wet in here from condensation, where it's been in here for a long time. So that's why it's time to focus on getting this job done and getting this car done, so we can get it all ready to be used next summer. So therefore, this is part one of the E60 M5's stripping video, and you will join me on the next video where I'll be doing a lot more to this engine. Okay guys, so I hope you've actually enjoyed seeing me take the plenums off the E60 M5. As I said, the next few videos are going to be about this car while we get to the issue on this car and fix it once and for all, because come the summertime I do want to take this car out and be using it more than I have been. I have been neglecting this car, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it's all the car's fault. It's not. This car was sitting 6 months previous and I did not use it. Since I've actually got the M135i, I've actually been driving that more than I even drive the M5. I'm not going to sit here and lie about this subject. Realistically, it was me. I should have been starting it, but I have been actually neglecting it. That's why I'm going deep down. I'm going to sort out every issue, get this car back running and make it run perfectly in the way it should be when it left the factory. Now, bearing in mind, I have had the main components done, which is the rod bearings, the Vanos line, and all the ancillary belts, pulleys, the lot, throttle actuators, you name it, it's all been done. But on the top, it has been neglected. So I have neglected it, and therefore I am going to be focusing on clearing out the throttle plates and everything else on the engine, just giving it a good clean up with throttle valve cleaner or carburetor cleaner, just to clean everything up, test all the injectors, run tests, make sure everything's fully functioning, and then put the car back together once I'm fully happy it's all functioning correctly and better than what it was before I removed it. I'm not entirely happy to be driving a car like this, and there's a lot of other issues, like it's not coming up to temperature, which can actually damage the engine because the oil ain't getting to the natural temperature of what the engine wants. Therefore, oil's not lubricating the engine properly, not going up to temperature. That's going to cause catastrophic failure on this engine, something I do not want. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and on the next video we are going to crack on and showing you how to explore the E60 M5 S85 engine and what to check for and how to do non-maintenance procedures on this car. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and goodbye.